Rain. Not just rain, but a cold, relentless downpour, the kind that chills you to the bone. The wind howled like a banshee, whipping the icy rain against the windows. Each gust seemed to carry a whisper, a wordless murmur that sent shivers down your spine. The old oak tree outside my window groaned, its branches swaying wildly in the wind. It sounded like the tree was screaming, pleading for the storm to stop. The power flickered, plunging the room into darkness. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat echoing the frantic rhythm of the rain. The darkness felt alive, filled with unseen eyes and unheard whispers. I fumbled for a candle, my hand trembling, and finally managed to light it. The flickering flame cast dancing shadows on the walls, making the familiar room seem alien and menacing. I huddled deeper into my chair, pulling a thick blanket around my shoulders. The stories my grandmother used to tell me about stormy nights like this flashed through my mind. Stories of vengeful spirits, restless souls seeking solace, and ancient evils awakened by the fury of the storm. I tried to dismiss them as old wives' tales, but the oppressive darkness and the relentless pounding of the rain on the roof made it difficult to shake off the feeling that something was watching me. There was a sudden, sharp rap on the window. I jumped, my heart leaping into my throat. The candle flickered wildly, casting grotesque shapes on the walls. I forced myself to look towards the window, my breath catching in my throat. Pressed against the glass was a face, a pale, gaunt face with eyes that glowed an eerie green in the darkness. A silent scream died in my throat as the face opened its mouth in a silent scream of its own. Deep in the woods, shrouded in mist and the relentless downpour, stood a dilapidated cabin. It was a place forgotten by time and ravaged by the elements. The once bright paint was now peeling and faded, revealing the dark, rotting wood beneath. The windows were boarded shut, like sightless eyes staring out into the storm. The air around the cabin was heavy with the scent of decay and the weight of forgotten tragedies. John and Mary, two young lovers on a weekend getaway, stumbled upon the cabin. Their car, having skidded off the rain-slicked road. Seeking shelter from the storm, they approached the cabin with a sense of unease. The heavy oak door creaked open as if inviting them in. Inside, the cabin was dark and dusty, cobwebs clinging to every corner. The air was thick with the silence of ages. A sudden gust of wind slammed the door shut behind them, plunging them into darkness. Mary gasped, her hand flying to her mouth to stifle a scream. John fumbled for his lighter, the small flame doing little to dispel the oppressive darkness. As they explored the cabin, they found strange symbols etched into the walls, faded photographs of people with haunted eyes, and a child's diary filled with chilling entries. As the storm raged outside, the cabin seemed to come alive around them. Floorboards creaked underfoot, disembodied whispers echoed in the darkness, and shadows danced in the flickering candlelight. John and Mary soon realized that they were not alone in the cabin. Something cold and unseen watched them from the shadows. The rain hammered down on the crumbling edifice of Cranbrook Mental Asylum, a once imposing structure now surrendered to decay and despair. The building loomed over the desolate landscape like a specter, its shattered windows like vacant eyes staring out into the stormy night. The air around the asylum was heavy with the stench of mildew and the lingering echoes of madness. A group of college students, drawn by the allure of the unknown and emboldened by their youthful arrogance, decided to explore the abandoned asylum. Armed with flashlights and fueled by morbid curiosity, they stepped across the threshold and into the heart of darkness. The asylum's interior was a nightmare of peeling paint, shattered glass, and rusted medical equipment. The air was heavy with an oppressive silence, broken only by the drip, drip, drip of water seeping through the leaky roof. As they ventured deeper into the labyrinthine corridors, they found themselves surrounded by remnants of the asylum's tragic past. Restraints lay discarded on the floor, their leather straps cracked and worn. Medical charts, filled with chilling diagnoses and experimental treatments, littered the desks. In the doctor's office, the students soon realized that they were walking in the footsteps of madness. The asylum's ghostly residents, driven to insanity within those very walls, watched the students with unseen eyes. Whispers followed them through the corridors. Cold spots sent shivers down their spines, and fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures appeared at the edge of their vision. The students had come seeking thrills, but they found only terror. Section 4. The Bridge of Whispers. The old iron bridge groaned under the onslaught of the storm, its rusted cables singing a mournful song in the wind. The river below churned and raged, its surface a mirror of the tempestuous sky above. The bridge, known locally as the Bridge of Whispers, had a sinister reputation. Locals whispered of a tragic accident that claimed the lives of several children, their souls forever bound to the bridge. A lone figure, a young woman named Sarah, found herself drawn to the bridge on this stormy night. Driven by grief over the recent loss of her husband, she sought solace in the solitude of the storm. As she stood on the bridge, the wind carrying her sobs into the night, she felt an icy hand grip her shoulder. She spun around, her heart pounding in her chest, but there was no one there. Just the wind and the rain and the darkness. But then she heard it, a whisper, faint and mournful, carried on the wind. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, wrapping around her like a shroud. The whisper grew louder, clearer, resolving itself into words. "He's gone," the voice whispered, its tone filled with a chilling sorrow. "But you'll be with him soon." Sarah's blood ran cold. She knew with a certainty that defied logic that the voice was speaking to her. It was the voice of the bridge, the voice of the lost souls seeking solace in her despair. Section 5. The Secret of the Rain. Back in the flickering candlelight of my study, the face at the window was gone. The rain continued to lash against the glass, but the wind seemed to have died down, the whispers silenced. I was left trembling, my mind racing, trying to make sense of what I had seen. Was it real, or a figment of my imagination, fueled by my grandmother's stories and the oppressive atmosphere of the storm? The answer, when it came, was not in a sudden revelation, but in a slow, dawning realization. The stories, the cabin, the asylum, the bridge, they were all connected, each one a piece of a larger tapestry, woven together by the threads of the storm and the secrets it held. The rain wasn't just rain. It was a conduit, a bridge between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. The stories my grandmother told weren't mere tales to frighten children. They were warnings passed down through generations about the dangers that lurked in the shadows, waiting for the cover of a stormy night to emerge. The rain, she used to say, had a memory. It remembered the tragedies, the sorrows, the sins of the past. And on nights like this, when the veil between worlds was Thin. It brought them back. The storm raged on, but I was no longer afraid. I understood now. The rain wasn't something to be feared, but respected. It was a reminder of the unseen world around us. A world where life and death, reality and nightmare, were separated by the thinnest of veils.